where money really comes from. Most people think money is created in one place, by one authority, through one decision. But the truth is far more unsettling. Money is created quietly, repeatedly, and often without anyone noticing the exact moment it comes into existence. This matters today because money no longer enters the system the way it once did. It is not primarily printed. It is not handed out evenly. It is generated through processes that feel ordinary, technical, and routine, yet they shape who gains power, who takes risk, and who bears the cost when things go wrong. To understand where money really comes from, we have to step away from cash and look at credit. Modern money is born the moment a promise is accepted, a loan approved, a balance updated. What appears as funding is actually expansion, new purchasing power created through agreement rather than production. At first, the system seems elegant. Credit allows growth to happen faster than savings alone would permit. Businesses expand, consumers spend, economies scale beyond their physical limits. Money flows where confidence exists, multiplying opportunity. But this creation is conditional. Every unit of new money is tied to obligation, to repayment, to future income, to stability that has not yet occurred. Money enters a system not as certainty, but as expectation. This is a reveal beginning to take shape. Money is not just a store of value. It is a claim on the future. And when the future looks stable, money appears abundant. When confidence fades, creation slows or reverses. The system adapts around this reality. Institutions do not simply distribute money. They decide when expansion is acceptable, when risk feels justified, when promises seem credible. These decisions shape the economy long before prices or headlines react. The early tension forms here. If money is created through confidence, then confidence becomes a gatekeeper. Those closest to credibility receive money first. Others receive it later or not at all. The system expands unevenly, following belief rather than need. Where money really comes from is not a place. It is a decision made thousands of times a day across institutions, models, and assumptions. And once you see that, the system looks very different, because whoever influences those decisions influences the future itself. As credit became the primary source of money, the system reorganized around access to it. Those who could create, extend, or influence credit gained outsized power, not through force, but through timing. Institutions learned to manage expansion carefully. Lending increased when confidence felt strong. It tightened when uncertainty rose. Money flowed in waves, following cycles of optimism and restraint. The system did not simply respond to the economy. It shaped it. Markets absorbed this dynamic quickly. Asset prices rose alongside credit availability. Growth clustered where lending expanded fastest. Booms felt organic, but they were often fueled by acceleration in money creation rather than productivity alone. The reveal deepened here. When money is created through credit, growth becomes sensitive to perception. Small changes in confidence can expand or contract the supply dramatically. The system becomes elastic, but also unstable under sudden shifts in belief. This altered behavior across the economy. Businesses optimized for access to financing. Consumers adjusted spending to interest rates. Governments responded to credit conditions as much as fiscal ones. Money was no longer neutral. It became reactive. The early conflict took shape as dependency grew. Expansion relied on continuous confidence. Any interruption threatened contraction. The system could grow quickly, but it could also reverse suddenly, pulling money out just as easily as it created it. Warning signs appeared quietly. Leverage increased. Balance sheets stretched. The future was increasingly spoken for by obligations created in the present. Money looked plentiful, but fragile. The tension here was fundamental. Credit-fueled money enables scale and speed, but it ties the present tightly to the future. Growth becomes front-loaded. Risk accumulates invisibly. Where money really comes from is not just creation. It is belief. Belief that tomorrow will be stable enough to pay for today. And when belief wavers, money does not disappear gradually. It vanishes all at once. The conflict reached its emotional peak when belief began to fracture. Not everywhere, not all at once, but just enough to expose how dependent the system had become on confidence. Lending slowed. conditions tightened. Promises that once felt safe were suddenly questioned. This was the moment when money revealed its true nature. What had expanded easily now resisted growth. Credit lines shrank. Approval processes hardened. The same mechanisms that created money so efficiently now worked in reverse, pulling it back from circulation. Institutions reacted defensively. Risk models shifted overnight. What was acceptable yesterday became unacceptable today. The future, once assumed stable, was reassessed with caution. Money did not wait for failure to appear. It withdrew in anticipation of it. Markets reflected this shift with speed. Asset prices fell not because value vanished, but because access to money did. Liquidity dried up in places that had depended on constant credit flow. Growth stalled where financing paused. The system did not collapse. It contracted. This was the heart of the conflict. Money created through belief disappears when belief fades. The system's strength became its weakness. Elasticity allowed rapid expansion, but it also allowed rapid reversal. Stability depended on confidence, remaining intact everywhere at once. The emotional weight of this moment came from realization. Money was not anchored to physical output alone. It was anchored to expectation. And expectation, once shaken, could not be forced back instantly. Pressure mounted as participants waited for reassurance, for intervention, for signs that confidence would return. But belief cannot be commanded. It must be rebuilt. The buildup was complete. The system had discovered that where money really comes from also determines where it goes when trust erodes. And the question ahead was unavoidable. How do you stabilize a system whose foundation is belief itself? The resolution did not come from forcing money back into existence. It came from restoring belief. Carefully, deliberately, and unevenly, the system learned that confidence cannot be commanded by decree. It must be earned through consistency, clarity, and time. The climax arrived when intervention shifted from expansion to assurance. Guarantees were clarified. Backstops were defined. Signals were simplified. The goal was not to flood the system with new credit, but to reduce uncertainty enough for creation to resume on its own. Money returns fastest when fear recedes. Institutions adjusted their posture. Lending standards stabilized instead of swinging wildly. Transparency improved where opacity had fueled doubt. Decisions were framed to rebuild expectation, not chase growth. The system relearned a difficult truth. Belief grows from predictability, not persuasion. Markets responded cautiously. Liquidity returned in stages. Prices found footing before momentum followed. Growth restarted where confidence reappeared first, then spread outward. The system did not snap back. It recalibrated. Money flowed again, but with memory. The resolution reshaped understanding of stability. Money created through credit requires care not just at birth, but throughout its life. Expansion without attention to belief invites contraction. Speed without trust invites reversal. Stability depends on aligning promises with capacity. What endured was a clear lesson. Where money really comes from determines how fragile it is. When creation rests on belief, maintaining belief becomes the system's most valuable asset. Not optimism, credibility. Not volume, consistency. Money is not just numbers on a balance sheet. It is confidence made liquid. And when confidence is treated with discipline, money can grow without betraying the future it depends on. Sometimes the smallest shift in perspective becomes the beginning of a new future, where money